Hi, I'm Jeff Frank, the minister of St. Paul's Universalist Church in Little Falls, New York, and this week we're reflecting on our seventh Unitarian Universalist principle, which is the respect for the interdependent web of life and existence of which we're all a part. And I'd like to start by letting you know something. You've won perhaps the greatest lottery ever. I've won it. These plants behind me have won it. The birds you might hear singing in the background. All of us have won this lottery of sorts. And what am I talking about? Well, I want you to think for a minute about the statistical odds of all those generations of species, your parents and your grandparents and your great, 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 on and on and on, grandparents, coming together, when they did, how they did, in such a way that all those millennia later, here you are. Here those birds are, here that tree is. All of us have won that lottery, the statistical odds of all those factors coming together so that you could be here. It staggers the mind. Your odds of going down to the convenience store and buying a winning lottery ticket are much better than the statistical odds that have led to you being here. It makes us all special. It connects us. In the Judeo-Christian scriptures, in the book of Genesis, it talks about how God created the earth in 7 days, created everything, actually, in 7 days. And, some people might argue, well, it's the height of human conceit to say, the almighty creator of the universe chose 7 24-hour periods because that's what Earth time is like. But that's missing the point. Because stories don't necessarily have to be, concrete and factual to nonetheless contain powerful truths. And the truth is, when you read the creation story, every time God creates something, God proclaims that creation is good. It's good. And the creation is diverse. The colors of the world, the species of the world, the immense diversity on just this one little teeny tiny infinitesimal speck floating in the cosmos. That's pretty amazing. And it's good. And sometimes I think we forget that. I think we forget that things are good. And I think we also forget that we are connected as a people, as neighbors sharing our world. We forget that. We, as human beings in particular, we set ourselves apart. Like we're somehow special. We're somehow different. We're not a part of all this. Or we're in charge of it all. But we're not. Not really. Because in that same biblical account of the creation, when God creates human beings, God calls them to be stewards. Not rulers, but stewards, caretakers of this amazing creation. So I want you to think about that. I want you to think about how unique you are, how you've won that huge living lottery, as it were. And I want you to remember that God didn't make one type of tree, God didn't make one type of human being or one type of animal. God didn't make everything all the same color. It's diverse, and it's interconnected. It all comes together in a beautiful creation. Here's a reading that I have always found to be both humbling and inspiring. This is from the book Pale Blue Dot by Carl Sagan. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. The Earth is a very small stage in a vast cosmic arena. Think of the rivers of blood spilled by all those generals and emperors, so that in glory and triumph they could become the momentary masters of a fraction of a dot. Think of the endless cruelties visited by the inhabitants of one corner of this pixel on the scarcely distinguishable inhabitants of some other corner. How frequent their misunderstandings, how eager they are to kill one another, how fervent their hatreds. Our posturings, our imagined self-importance, the delusion that we have some privileged position in the universe, are challenged by this point of pale light. Our planet is a lonely speck in a great enveloping cosmic dark. In our obscurity, in all this vastness, there is no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves. The Earth is the only world known so far to harbor life. There is nowhere else, at least in the near future, to which our species could migrate. Visit, yes. Settle, not yet. Like it or not, for the moment, the Earth is where we make our stand. It has been said that astronomy is a humbling and character-building experience. There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image of our tiny world. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another and to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known.